it into this live streaming experience. It's a revival in RL. That's real life. It's a revival live stream also to the Law of the Earth. I'm also broadcasting on this King Kameya Instagram account that I have for myself. Message of love, light, and abundance, bliss, and opportunity to be part of solutions. This is what my adventures are about, bringing us into a beautiful spirit of adventure, of joy, and embracing what life has to, and the connectivity when we open ourselves and to the organic consciousness, to the true. So there's this materialistic paradigm that we are working to get ourselves unstuck from, and so that's why I need to share my message to help the stickiness get lubrication to the organic consciousness, to return to an interconnected way of being, to return to a sense and stewardship, as one with all of life. So moving with the harmonious tide, the cycles of nature. We are her material that is ancient as the planet, ancient as the stardust from which it was formed, lives in us. We are breathing from the breath to us, and so we're consciousness expressing into form. We are a bridge between heaven and earth, greater fullness. This is the Law of the Earth channel, because we're learning we're on learning adventure. The author writing our stories, right? The pen is mightier than the sword, and it's time for us to set down the violent ways, the swords, the weaker of the two, right? Between the pen and the sword, and pick up the pen, right, over our own lives, to be the captains of our souls. And so that's what my quest is all about, self-sovereignty and state of being, of conscious creatorship, right? Of being one with all that is. I like to think of us are stepping into our transcendental, I can say that, our transcendental identity, right? Not the identity world, right? That we've felt obliged to take on society. And I'm here to stand, refuses to be limited by that role, and to embrace all that I am, and to be a support, mutual support, for us to help one another along this path of this growth into all that we are becoming, of a remembrance of the truth of our soul, without beginning and without end, as the divine incarnate. And it's interesting, the divine the divine, material, right? What has a material aspect and a spiritual aspect, and we are a marriage of the two. And matter, the subtle and gross, right? The subtle and the gravitational, the weighty. Just to realize the truth again, right? We've been on a spiral downwards into the depths of unconsciousness, forgetting the spiritual nature of this life. We live in a miracle realm. We can create anything. It's just up to within ourselves, right? To have the knowledge of possibility, to have the knowledge of empowerment. John Lennon sang about, imagine your nation into being. It's literally what we're doing, is conjuring reality from a soup of possibility through this projecting nation is a creator. We are creating through this technology of the physical body, the of consciousness. And we have, like I said, been offered self-destructive, and they've convinced us in many cases to misidentify, right? To stuck in a confusion, a delusion. Oh, I'm just a name on a list. To think I'm an employee, to think I'm a mother, a father, sister, brother. These are all roles that we are offered, but they don't define our spirit. And we are the Mother Earth, right? These bodies are her body. And the history of the stardust coming down, the formation of planets like our Mother Earth, matter is the universe, infinitely cycling expression that by and enlivened by the spirit. And it's to hemispheres of the brain, to in the sacred heart of creation, this marriage between the great infinite spirit above. It's a partnership, and we can consciously align at this time to cooperation with life that's moving through us and all around us, with all the beings that we share this earth with. Not to fear them, seek our own aggrandizement at the expense of our beautiful co-inhabitants on this earth. And remember that we are all one. Form of journeys into permaculture, which is, short for permanent culture, as I would say. I started out with permanent agriculture, culture, we agree it's a partnership, right? And health, which is true wealth, communication. It's about how well we can know ourselves and understand one another. So this is what the law of earth contribute to encouraging a quest for more knowledge about ourselves, about our true divine nature, and that within else around us, right? We're all reflections of the ones to to express and to give, like gifts to give to the world, and our voice to share and express, because nobody sees the world like we do. And in fact, we're each creating our own world, and they all measure in a universe. We are all instruments of the one. And the knowledge of our oneness and the beauty of the many and the one, like the branches in the tree and the forest, all connected through the roots, through the air. We have our mycelial web of internet fiber optic connections, us mirroring the mushroom, the mycorrhizal fungi, the ancient goddess name for earth. And I'm currently enrolled in I've wanted to do for many years. I'm a student in Gaia University, although prior to that, I was also a student in Mother Earth's University, traveling far and wide, more connected ways of being with communities, people that are exploring this, what it means to be a partner, to be a loving, listening, to be in acknowledgement and deep reverence for the web of life and the infinite nuance and day to day through all the different beings, the personalities, and the other people, the animals, and the elements, the winds. Like I took a course about spirits from the different cultures and how we can speak with them and get to know who they are, what guidance that they have for us. Interestingly, I studied energy. One of his teachers was Barbara Brennan, who is the author of the book Hands of Light, if you've heard of that. And Barbara Brennan is see the human aura and the way that our energies interact with each other. And so one of her, and that name means the whispering of truth throughout the ages, I think it was. And that just make thinking of the wind and how we can communicate. I've been chance and circumstance, synchronicity and inspiration, curiosity to go and explore, to be a part of other cultures and other life. I grew up in California, and then I spent time living in four continents, this kung fu school in China with my high school, and learning some Mandarin Chinese. And so Ni Men Hao to all the Chinese watchers. There's some it's always been beautiful culture to me, something that really resonated with my soul, as if I had, prior lifetimes in China, with other places as well. And like currently, I'm in Montenegro, so this is actually where my uh, this general part of the world is actually where my Polish ancestry and Russians, and most of my friends here in Montenegro are Russian. There's a lot of people that came over here and um, with Russia and Ukraine, those countries. And it's funny, it's great to see a lot of Russians here and also Ukrainians going to the same schools because we're all just human beings. And insanity called nationalism, right? I would say that my country is the whole world. Of all of mankind are my brothers and sisters, and all are all my my cousins. We're all relatives, and and uh, the unfolding determined by our wills and our conscious or unconscious creativity, right? Global nation, this universal of co-creation, of dreaming into being the experience from moment to moment, which is what we're doing. But life is emerging from a soup of quantum moment to moment, based on the um, the programming that we are receiving and transmit. Spirit waves, the subtle energies, um, are being populated and with the broadcast. That's how we resonate. So integrate fullness is the quest I'm on. It's the ministry that I'm offering to the world, to express of gratefulness, of gratitude, giving thanks. So I'm giving thanks for our connection now, for the opportunity to share this message, and shout out the Source channel on YouTube. Inspired me to get back on the live stream today, and because he's been spinning a wheel to build creators, boost each other's channels, and so I welcome people that may be coming over from Doran's community, and I'm excited to connect and to together, to cultivate gratitude for that connection, and to be open to the perspectives that we have, that we all that you share those perspectives. I know you're, and speak your truth, right? Everyone has their own truth that they experience. It's valuable. So I just encourage that expression. And with that, I want to share some of my. I'll just say one more thing about that. It's like we cannot have understanding of the nature of reality without exchanging with one another. Right? We're limited. Even if we're going to go and meditate and transcend into our soul, our monadic, our oversoul, that is still, kind of confined to a soul cluster, right? to a certain thing is that there's such a wide variety of resonances and expressions of being and the ways of seeing and perceiving reality and do the other, right? To perceive is to create. That's why we have to be, careful. We have to care. We're filled, and then we're full. So be careful what resonance we're emitting. What you choose to consume and to take in. So fill your cup with positivity. And I want to speak about, like I mentioned, coming into harmony with the environment, seeing blessing to increase diversity, to increase the health of the plants and animals around us, and the blooming and blossoming and flowering of all expressions of life, right? To be aligned with the benevolence of the creators through us and through all being. And where was I going with this? Permaculture. I kind of lost the thread for a second. Let me just Munzuri Alex. Cool. We're going downstairs, staying there with Alex in Mexico. To you. It's great to see you on here. Blessings to you. Thanks for tuning in. And Gorkum, I like your panda, bro. But it's good to be. I'm looking forward to to remember in reference to permaculture and the ecological frame of mind. YouTube also. See if there's anybody tuning in. I know it was such a pleasure to be re-inspired through transition after transition in times. And I remembered what I wanted to speak about. To be a part of a movement towards moving back into harmony, right? Remembering of our ancestral roots, of the revival of the indigenous, of the impulse of life. And there's been this horrible trend away from the impulse of life towards death and self-destruction, control paradigm, right? That people are fed prescriptions which give them a drastic living in a state of decay, right? Of not thriving, a state of diminished status. And this all way we perceive ourselves, right? If we see ourselves as incapable of on an outside authority of people in white coats to prescribe for us what medicines we need to take, and you can't even call them medicines. Like, same it goes for the narratives taught in academia, right? We have this authoritative figures. The universe is made up of atoms that have particles of spinning around each other, and not even, I mean, ignoring the mass of evident energy, and we're dreaming creation into being moment to moment. I remember part of my energy healing curriculum from Christoph Miller uh, had to do with this, all the experimentation that's been done in quantum physics show that everything is energy in nature. Right, that's one of the primary fundamental laws of reality, known as with the 7 primary energy centers in the human body. One of them is the principle of mentalism, uh, which is that everything is mind, right? And so thinking, it's the universe is thinking. Frequency and vibration is how it operates. Waves expanding, and anyway, back to what I was saying about permaculture and the ecology and the possibility for re-envisioning how we relate to the environment. In fact, it's our inherent design to be a tremendous benefit, right? And it only is logical besides places which serve our environment because of the environment in order to sustain for ourselves. But it's not just about sustaining ourselves. It's about realizing into this imagination out from the borders of the nations that we've named: America, Germany, Japan, Ireland, Singapore, all these carved out and divided from one another. And people spend their whole lives. Yes, my dream is to live a reality in the imagination of to realize my dreams of being able to go anywhere, on a global scale, and and to not be confined to these boundaries uh, any longer. So systematically and with great to join me to step into a higher version of reality where we don't have to just take the prescriptions that cause us to slowly die. And and so what can we call that? Like, what language can we use? I've recently been a movement that's known as the net positive village. Like I said, it's not just about sustaining ourselves or being in just a sustainability. It's actually about achieving a result of connections of all our relationships are uplifted by the actions that we're taking, by the thoughts that we're holding, the energies, the feelings that we're cultivating. We are determined to embody and create. Uh, for me, it's a net positive reality, meaning it's benefit, um, all things, the net, right? Considering all things, and it's the same meaning actually. It's just kind of a slightly different way to think about it. It's the net relationships, and if we can be considering those deeply, listening, in prayer, in communion, spirit that flows through all life, and to be affirmed, determined to be a benefit, right? To say, here I am in service to uplift my surroundings, to make things more radiant with joy and abundance and the great opportunity. So there is a specific movement I've just referenced, and I encourage you to check it out. It's Net Positive Village. That's part of the Utopia movement. And here, I don't know if is it even live on YouTube? Let's see. Yeah, we are live. Yeah, I would imagine. And is anybody checking it out? Let's see. I welcome you to drop a comment, to share, to bust the like button. and to subscribe if you're interested. Welcome to this frequency, to this emanation of a will. My divine will expressing itself through me to be a blessing, to embody and inhabit and occupy the network of awareness, to consciously move into union, to sphy, to make all things unified in appearance, or we all have our own preferences, and that doesn't stop us from acting as one, right? It's just a question of consideration of to saying and everyone, there's room for everyone, as they say. There's room for everyone. Make some room. If everyone makes some room, it's all about this in this way, and your way may not be the same, and that is totally fine, right? As long as we can respect that. The way you respect mine, and it's a mutual acknowledgement, and well, ideally it's mutual. In many cases, as we've seen in many movies about men, but will and determination, disrespect, even in the face of ignorance, in the face of coercion, in the face of war. If we can hold a peace, then we're going to transcend. If we can just hold that, this is our opportunity to come together in a peaceful way by cultivating the energies that we hold. We're feeling, and I know this is a difficult one, and trust me, I'm no master of this. But to what I see that I'm feeling this way, that I'm upset, that I feel hurt, that I feel angry, or that I feel jealous. All right, whatever it is, just let's get curious about what is, and be willing to face, can be explored, to be willing to face the part of what I'm looking to encourage and to share. And so I welcome your participation in this area. I have a weekly free Renaissance roundtable. And so that's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. in Central Europe time, which is where I am. That's 1 p.m. Eastern time in the US. To participate with, a global community, curious, to understand themselves better, to understand one another better, and to realize that that's the same quest about ourselves, and to encourage the emergence of the teacher in all of us, and not just be using resources. We can actually be producers of thoughts and producers of our own way of expression. And I'm so excited. I also write a free weekly newsletter. I'm gonna write one today. Live stream and newsletter, and I share it through the Facebook group Law of the Earth. And I have a Telegram channel that's called Law of the Earth. That is where you can gain access to the Aquarian Renaissance Roundtable free weekly, to bring some more buzz and excitement and wonder and learning into the world, to gather people. I recently put on a summit that was called the Aquarian Renaissance Indigenous Revival. And so I'm dreaming up the next summit, the Earth, and the integrate fullness sphere of activity. What can we, leaning towards an exploration on the ground, practical building, which has been another great part of my life. And then with this movement for net positive villages, because it takes a village, right? It takes a village to raise a child. Are we moving into them? Just questions for you. And so reach out to me, leave a comment. Find me on Telegram, on Facebook. You have this Instagram, King K.A. Maya, which I'll explain about that name briefly. It's K.A. Maya. I was living on Hawaii at the time that I created the means comedy. K.A. Maya is the Hawaiian word for comedy. I didn't actually know this at the time because I just took the first three letters of my last name, and that was K.A. Maya. Not my last name, it's my middle name. But then my friend later looked at it and he said, that's a Hawaiian word. And it's funny because K.A., I guess it means, translates to the word something. And so when you take those together, put them together, you get something different, and that means to be tickling your funny bones in future live streams, and sometimes on the newsletter, on the Telegram. I'm looking to bring some levity, some